everybody, my name is Sherry. Welcome to my stamp studio. I have a line of cards that I'm getting ready to film today. It is gloomy and gray outside and it's Friday. So it won't be Friday, it'll be Friday when I film all of them, of course, but they're not going to all post today. I'm going to try to figure out the best order to get them posted. There's a lot of stuff, and some of them I hadn't intended, but I've gotten several messages and emails from you asking for me to get to a couple of them. So I'm going to try to squeeze them in, and then hopefully they'll post over the weekend. We had two retiring last chance lists come out this week. So if you're on my email list, then you've gotten the PDFs so you can download and print them off. April 4th is when the sale starts. So there's two different ways that you can look at it. There's some really good deals. And I also wanted to kind of show you what is on sale and the best way to kind of look at it. This one's a little overwhelming, so I haven't even filmed it yet. We'll touch on a couple of things on it today. This one has already, I filmed it. So I've walked through it. I showed you, I send a lot of the cards that I make on my channel as thank yous because I just need a ton of thank yous. But I walked through this one. I showed you things that were on sale. The sale starts April 4th. So that way you can kind of take your weekend and you can mark your catalogs up and you can kind of think what you're going to need. I don't even have the physical copy of the new one, and it is sometimes easier to see what's coming. A lot of stuff is carrying over, but like none of the designer series paper carries over, so it kind of helps you decide. This year there's a color refresh, which because there's new colors coming in and coming out. And ladies, you never use 48, 58 colors on a card. So suede is leaving. If you follow my channel, you know I use a lot of soft suede, especially in the fall and at Christmas. So I've kind of transitioned away from it because it's spring, so it's a little easier to take that suede is leaving. There's some lovely, lovely, lovely new browns coming. One's called Pecan Pie, which is going to be fun because I know some of you say pecan. So that's going to be fun hearing who says pecan pie and who says pecan pie. I'm going to do that one, and I will have it post sometime over the weekend. It's just, I do have more samples, not as many because like the peach set's leaving, and I got rid of all of those cards when the peach paper left, and the peach paper's been gone for a couple of years. I will have that one. And then I'm not going to really show you much of the colors because I want to wait and show you the colors that are leaving when I have the new colors towards the end of next week. We can't order till the 4th either. And I don't think we can order late in the day. So even though I overnight it, it's not going to leave that day. It'll leave the next. I don't think I'll have my order till Friday. So this video, I'm not going to talk a ton about the card club because you can go watch this. You have to subscribe. My card club is subscription. All the details are in this video, and I also have a card club page on my website so you can just go read about it. This is their first project for April Card Club, and you can see it's going to use the Sun Prints paper. They get a half a package of paper every month, and this month they're getting half a package. It'll be cut down this way. We have an industrial sized paper cutter because we cut lots of paper around here, and then they make two. So they get all of the card supplies. So we do 3 projects, they make 2 of each. And all of the die cuts come already. And then the first project every month, everybody sees. So this is the one that you've all seen. They get a full spool of ribbon this month. They're getting the natural ribbon. They get a full package of embellishments. Again, I wanted to use retiring ones, and these are retiring, solid faceted gems. And then they can add on a stamp set every month. And this was kind of, I didn't know it was retiring. So these are funny. You will see when you see the retiring list, and I explained it in the video. If you see these little marks down here, this is $1 million sales set. This isn't talked about in this video because I recorded this before I knew. Eventually, and the keyword is eventually because I don't know how long it'll take, the $1 million stamp sets are supposedly landing on the online exclusive. It may be a while, and it may be all of the past ones. It's still a little ambiguous. Anytime there's retiring, especially you add the color refresh, and now we've added the online exclusives to it. So the stamp sets will be on the online, online exclusives. The dies won't carry over. So currently, this is in the catalog, and then who knows where it may be for a little bit of time, it's not retiring. So you'll see it's not retiring, but it's not in the new catalog. The dies are 60% off. So as a perk in my card club, they get to buy this stuff at catalog price, and I pay the tax and shipping. It's just a perk. So this is a really good deal. If you're in Card Club, you'll want to add this bundle because it's a super good deal. So that is what Card Club is. And then every few months we do a bonus bundle, and because there is a stamp set, a bundle that goes with this, you can add the folder if you're in Card Club at cost, which is the fern carrying over. You can also add I don't remember the name of it. Well, I can move that because I show in the video, if you want to see the paper, Nature's Prints. You can add that bundle. Now, if you add the actual bundle, then you'll get supplies for 2 other cards. Just 2. You don't get this stuff to make it twice. And you'll have the supplies. I'm going to use supplies that are in your card club. I'm going to show you an additional one, which you will have the supplies to make pretty much if you have this paper. So that's what I'm going to show you today, is just something using the Nature's Print bundle. It does carry over, not a bundle price. You pay an additional 10%. Then before I go on, one of our projects is going to use these little magnets. If you or somebody in your house can't have magnets, my dad has a pacemaker. I'm not so sure that these are strong enough that it would bother his pacemaker, but I just want to make sure if you're in Card Club and you don't want the magnet, you can still do the project without it. It just makes it a little bit cooler to have a magnet. Then just let me know and I won't include that in your packet. So let's take a little look at Nature's Print. It's a really pretty bundle, and it does have that fern 3D folder, which is lovely. You can add the bundle or you can add that, and all the information is on the site. Now this project right here, and here you can see the folder. This is from my Try It class that was with the with the catalog that's leaving now. So I will open up registration to Try It class for the new catalog on, I was going to do it April 1st. It's not going to be ready. It'll be ready by early next week. I never looked at the calendar, and I thought April 1st was like Monday. I didn't know it was going to be on a weekend. It will open Monday or Tuesday of next week, and I will have complete details for that. That class does fill up, and actually I'm going to not allow as many people in it as normal because we will be traveling in May. But it's a super fun class. You get all of the new papers, all of the new ribbons, all of the new embellishments, and then we'll make 12 projects together, and you will have it in super early in May because we're out of here early in May. These are all projects. This is the piece of paper that I'm using today that use the Nature's Prints. Here's that same project before. You can see in Try It class, here's where I try to give you as many pieces. You'll use some new folders. You'll use some new punches. It all comes to you, except I can't give you stamped images. So in this class, they got a new punch, and then they just had to add a word. Here's some new embellishments. There was new ribbon. And then I will send a couple of things in their PDF where I actually use the stamps to just show them how you can use it upgraded with stamps. So there's that. It's a template fun fold based class. So here is all of this with the sun prints, and then I don't remember the name. I meant to look at it, and I just threw my catalog where I can't reach it. There is another paper that matches the sun prints, and it's in other colors. It's in these two, and then Calypso Coral, I think, or I think it's in Calypso. It's in one of the oranges. It's the same paper, but in 3 colors. So it's the same as the sun prints, but other colors. And I used this kind of that way. That paper also retiring. All designer series papers retiring. And then this is the first time I used, pretty sure that was the first time I used the sun prints, and I didn't even use the paper. This paper right here is the brush stroke. We are going to use it in Card Club. It's retiring. I have to get up. I have to be ready with my order as soon as the sale starts, because I'm going to use a lot of sale stuff, and if it sells out, then I will have to redesign my class. So I'm also on this card, I'm going to use Sahara Sand, because Sahara Sand is a retiring color. So if I just wanted to, I did want to use it because I have lots of open packets of retiring colors. So there are 11 colors leaving us. They're being replaced by super fabulous colors. If you've been around for as long as I have, you may remember Barely Banana, and there's a new color called Lemon Lolly that looks lovely. And I thought Lemon Lolly was kind of like, because we're losing Saffron and Mango. But Lemon Lolly looks, I would have called it Lemon Chiffon because it looks lovely. And they laid it with Barely Banana, nothing like it. It's much more bright and fresh. And, you know, colors in the 90s were all dusty. They all had that dusty rose, dusty green, dusty blue. And I think Barely Banana was dusty. And when you see it with Lemon Lolly, it's just a bright color. So if there's a color you love, I'm assuming that means you already have the stamp pad. If you want, get a packet of cardstock and a refill and you're good to go. But, you know, eventually you'll look back at it and it'll be like Barely Banana and you'll be like, yeah, that's a 90s color. It won't be a 90s color. It'll be yellow. Like that's what is the 2020s, the aughts? I don't know what we call the time period that these colors came from. Colors do date themselves. And, you know, every time I see something that's dusty rose or mauve and those colors, it takes me back to when I was in my early 20s. And that was, you know, my wedding and my dorm room and the things that I registered for my wedding. But again, you never use all of the colors on a card. So take a moment. I will grieve my soft suede, and I am so happy that Gray Granite stayed. So let's do this card. It comes together so pretty. It's a really, really pretty card. And I did have scrap paper, but I had so much other stuff. Let me get it. Now the Stamparatus is leaving. It's not a awful rumor, and I will address it more in the video when I do the So all things Stamparatus are leaving, which is this my little papers. So yesterday I did order some of those because I can't live without my little papers because I don't have room on my desk for the giant one. So I folded this in half because I want to know where the half is. And then I'm going to use Night of Navy, not leaving. The other color I think that people were a little bit sad about was the Bermuda Bay. It's a lot like Coastal Cabana, and I tend to be more of probably showing the fact that I like the dusty colors. I tend to be more of the neutral. I don't use as many brights. So I can live with just the Coastal Cabana. There's a little splotchy stamp in this, and I am just going to stamp kind of up the back of this. And then I have cut this piece of paper. Now my original intention when I started this card, and this is Gray Granite, but it looks good with the Saharacene, and I wanted to use a retiring color. So I was going to use that, but then when it was all said and done and I put it on this way, I liked it with the blue. So there you go. You know, sometimes you design a card and you have an intention of using one side of the paper and you go to stick it on and you're not like, I like this side better. So I changed my mind. But when you put that quarter sheet, it's cut 4 by 5 1/4. Not much of this is going to show. So I want to make sure that everything that I stamp here is right to the very edge. And just get around it. So if you're in Card Club and you want to make this exact card because you're getting the Nature's Print, you will need to make sure that you have some Gray Granite or Saharacene. And you could do this with Gray Granite as well because it would look really pretty. It's just the ribbon that you're getting. It's that Naturals ribbon, and it kind of has more of a sand tone than a granite tone. So here's this, and then I'm going to take, I think this is Ginkgo. Take the large one and use Night of Navy. And mine needs to be re-inked a little bit, but here's the thing. When you're going to stamp a giant stamp and a really dark color like this, it's not wise to stamp it right before you do a video with it. So I'm just gonna make it work. I'm gonna press it a little harder than I might have wanted to otherwise. And again, remember, I'm going to just get it here, except here on the back. I wanna make sure that as it goes along here, that this part shows on the back, because this makes your design here just beautiful. Isn't that pretty? And so that's gonna sweep up the back of the card. So not only is our front beautiful, but the back will be too. And then all of this, when I close the card, will show, just peek through. And then this down here goes super fast because this is a giant stamp. So all that's just gonna show. And you don't have to be super careful about where you put it, because again, just that tiny little bit is gonna, but when you choose a giant stamp like this, it makes it go super quick. Isn't that pretty? Now look, when you close your card, you have this on the front, and then when they look at the back, it's also beautiful back there. Then I'm going to take, it's not a ton of stamping on this, take this, and the font on these sayings is really pretty, and it would also go if you're getting the queen bee, because that one has like happy birthday and queen. This would work really well with the queen bee. So that's super crooked, but you can tell I'm going to use the label that comes in this, so it doesn't have to be perfect. And then I'm going to take this, and I'm not going to stamp again. And I'm just going to put it like right there. Well, and I pushed really hard. So I'm going to flip it over because, you know, God gave us two sides of paper for when you do something like that. I rocked it. Do that. It's because I've pressed so hard because I know my thing needs more ink. There you go. I do know how to stamp. I know it's shocking. And then I'm going to take this, and you can see this is where I'm using it. I've used a piece of it for the queen bee card that I've already made. This paper is just beautiful, and I'm kind of sad that it's going. I'm going to use my Versamark, and I'm going to just stamp. I'm going to play this off of that where it has, you know, we've all done it when we were kids, when you laid something in the sun, some plants, and you just let it bleach the paper. Wonder if you could do that on this. You couldn't today here because it's not sunny. Let's stamp my Versamark on here. Get down here where there's a little bit of, oh, and all of my little embossing trays are still packed. I've unpacked a lot of stuff, but my things that I took from my actual shoebox swap is still in the shoebox. It's in an actual shoebox. I didn't take mine in a shoebox. I took mine in a cake bake bag, but my daughter took hers in a shoebox. And I packed my stuff up in hers to bring home. So it's still sitting in a shoebox. Okay, I'm going to heat this up, and then I'm going to use the dies, and I'm going to cut all this stuff out. All right, so I've cut all these out. These were the two that I stamped in, embossed in the white, and then this was just scrap, like kind of around that area. And this die set comes with 2 of the big ones and 3, I think, of the little ones, which is helpful. Now I'm going to show you something that's really kind of fun. I don't know if how many of you have done it, but I'm going to show you a little tip before you do it. So we have this. And remember, you're going to put this on here, and it's going to lose. See, it loses a lot of it. But we want this to be the star of the show. And then I want to kind of tame it. But you're going to get all this here. So I'm going to take my white watercolor pencil. There is a new, and I haven't even had time to look, because the thing is when our catalog is online, and I haven't, my iPad's dead, so I can't look at it on my iPad, and my Kindle's in black and white. So that's no fun. So I would normally look at my catalog at night, sitting on the couch, you know, once I'm done with the day, because I can't just sit at my computer and look at it. I could sit on my iPad, but I have to remember to charge it. And my phone's always being charged. what was I going to say? Oh, there's a new set of watercolor pencils. I don't know. I don't know what set got retired because I saw there was an N. And when you look at the new catalog, if you look at anything with an N, then you know that's new. So I saw that there's a new assortment and then one that's just the old assortment. So I assume assortment 1 stayed, and I don't know what colors were in which assortment. But I have taken my white one and I have just gone through, and I'm just going to kind of lightly add some white and kind of tone down the edges. So we're gonna lose a little bit of the sand on this side. So that's what I'm doing on the front. And I may go back once I get the panel on the front and kind of add a little bit more darker to some places. But for now, that's good. And then I'm gonna take my little label here. This is so pretty if you haven't done it. My white pencil is the only pencil that I really sharpen. And I'm just gonna, especially on my label, I'm gonna make it be beautiful. So I'm gonna scribble really hard, and I'm not gonna use any kind of water. I'm just using it for the white pencil. And I saw that the pastels, I don't remember seeing that it had an N on it, but they're on the retiring list. And I do think that Bermuda Bay was in the pastels. So that would make sense if we're getting new ones. And I do love my pastels. So right here, I'm gonna do it. Now look what happens. I'll try to zoom in after I edit so you can see this. It colors them to be, and this would be pretty on the front of a card. So maybe when we do the alternate project, maybe I'll do it on the gray granite side, and we'll do some colors with it because it's a really fun technique. Maybe we'll do a whole bouquet. Next week, when we hit the April 1st through the 4th, I always do specials for the first days of the month. I have some fun tutorials that are actually PDFs because my friend Tanya did the PDFs. I hate PDFs. I hate typing, and I hate typing fractions. But she did them for us. So it's actually some that my daughter did, some that she did, and some our other friend did. So I will have some free PDFs. And they have some of the things that are retiring. One of mine is the framed florets. But my daughter, Carissa, has a beautiful card, and it uses this set. And hers is in all spring beautiful colors. But I could change it and use watercolor pencils and do a technique. So maybe in Card Club. I love to think as I go, and then the key is to remember. That's what I wanted to do. I'll take a close-up picture of this and put it on my website so you can see just how beautiful this technique is. I don't even know what it's called. And I think I made it up one time when I was trying to fix a mistake. So it's really pretty. But don't add any water, because if you add water, it's going to take, especially on this navy, it's just gonna, the whole thing will be navy, and it will mix with that wax, and it won't be pretty anymore, trust me. So for this, all my bone folders also still packed in my shoebox swap. So this card's going to be a little floppy. This is why you own a bone folder, so your cards don't do this. And for this one, look, there's more of these beautiful ferns over here, and over here it's kind of plain. So sometimes take a second and think about how you're going to put your designer series paper on here. That's one thing I like to do in Card Club. I like to take just a second longer and give you little tips and tricks. I hope every month in Card Club that you learned at least one thing, preferably a couple more, but at least one thing. Because now when I go and stickle, I know my stuff's gonna go here, and we're gonna have all this pretty stuff over here. Let's just pretend the card opens this way. And if I did that and I stuck it all here, we're just gonna have some blank space. So I want all the beautiful to be here. Now, the really pretty ribbon, you get a full spool of this. Cut a little bit. Maybe. Like that. Go back to my not so juicy navy pad. I'm going to stamp this. I'm really looking forward to stamping it with those little bees that are in the Queen Bee set. Now when you stamp ribbon, you need to hold just a second and have time for the ink to absorb down into the ribbon. Don't rock it, because otherwise you're going to do exactly what I did on the other thing. Isn't that pretty? So now our ribbon also matches. I'm going to just take this little bit up here and tie a knot. Ideally, you give it a second to dry. But you know, it's the first card of the day. So why not get, I'm going to let that, and then I can't let it sit because I should have stamped this earlier, but I wasn't thinking about it. I just don't want to get blue ink all over my hands and have my hands be blue for all of the other videos I'm going to do today. I got blue on me. So if you watch the monogram or you watch the walkthrough and you see some blue ink, you will know where it came from. Yeah, got it everywhere. Just kind of trim this off. And then I'm going to trim this off, but I'm going to wait till it's on my card, because sometimes when you're kind of messing with it, it can still fray. Just going to add this strip here. I also tried this. Pacific Point is leaving. Blueberry Bushel, if you remember that in color, is replacing it. There's some Pacific Point in here. It was, if you like bright colors, that may be the background that you would want. And that's where I started. And then I moved to Starry Sky. It was still too bright for me. I liked, with this particular card, the more natural kind of look. Yeah, we'll trim this off a little bit. And these scissors need to be sharpened, so I'm just going to leave it. We'll go for natural. I'll intentionally fray it more, which, you know, if it's not perfect, then make it less so. And on this card, that works. If it was a, you know, a super formal wedding card, you would want to go get your better scissors and fix it. But for this, that'll work. Now let's take this, and I'm going to take another piece of the ribbon. And you know, I like to deconstruct some ribbon. So let's come over here and trim off the selvage that's holding it together. You can tell those scissors need to be sharpened. And then I'm going to just take here and start on your ribbon and just give a little pull of some adhesive. That way, as you start to pull this apart, that first one, oh, that's not too bad. Sometimes if you haven't cut a straight line, see those little pieces? Sometimes I throw the first one away. And I don't want a lot, and I don't want to catch it all even, because again, I'm going for an organic look. But just lay some in here, and you want some higher and some lower. Kind of have it go everywhere. And I used about half of it before, so we're about half. And then I could have saved the other one, because now I have two of these for ribbon that's retiring, but I wanted to show you how to do it. So now it looks a hot mess, but in a second we're going to tie it all together. So I'm going to take, remember that when I stamped poorly? I hope that made all of you feel better, because I also can stamp poorly. Add 3 dimensionals. Get this ready. Take this. And sometimes you might have added enough. It just kind of depends on how it all went down. But otherwise, just add some stuff to your tip. And then you may depend on like where your designs are back there. I have a nice little blank spot right there to add these. This one has enough that I can kind of get this. This will also help hold this in. And with this, just kind of lay it here. It just needs a little bit. You can use glue or glue dots if you want. But you're also going to have this that hits down there on, hopefully capture some of the bottoms, the stems. See that will get some of it as well. And then remember we have, I showed them to you, so I know they're here. These are our embellishments, and I'm going to use 7 because in Card Club they get embellishments every month, a full pack. And embellishments are meant to be on cards. They're not meant to be stored in your drawers or in your cupboard or in a shoebox. Except I keep using all of the blues for this paper. Although on another one of the cards, the Queen Bee cards, I used the lighter blue. And if you want a pop of pink, that'd be really pretty on here. The green would be pretty. This color, want to do this one? I think this is Succulent. That's the color, the current in color that's leaving. Freesia was the only in color that stayed of this one. So if you need to stock up on any of the others, but Succulent is, okay guys, because this is not, I don't think this is, I think this might be Pacific Point. I'm torn. But actually this green looks pretty too. I need somebody here that has a voice, not people in a screen that I can't hear. So I'm going to do 7 because when you get embellishments every month, I'm going to do 2 of the big, just, and then the smaller ones. So there's 2. Now we need 5. So 5 of the little. And if you just do 3 and you have this much going on a card, sometimes they can get lost. So 3 more. Put one on the ribbon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2 more. Add a. So you have to do in art, you always use an odd number. Unless there's a reason, like if you're matching it up to something on your card. So here's this. And it is quite beautiful. You could put some Wink of Stella on it. You could add a little bit more white and highlight these. I'm not going to take the time to do what I did on my other one, so I'll show you in a second. One of the other ribbons that I thought about using on this month for Card Club is this In Color Metallic. It made the cut. So that's part of the reason I didn't. And the other reason is if you were in Card Club earlier this year, you already got it. I don't remember what month we had it, but I know some of you already have it. And it matches this perfect. So if you have it, look at this. Just take another little bit. We're gonna also deconstruct it, flip it around. But if you don't have it, don't feel like you have to use it. But I know a lot of you in Card Club already have it. And I know that a lot of you bought it again and got another spool of it because it's fabulous. So we're gonna just kind of pull it. And it also looks, this card kind of reminds me, we have our cats. And so for entertainment for our cats, we have lots of bird feeders by the windows. That's where they are right now. They kind of leave me alone in the spring. But because we have the bird feeders, we have a lot of birds that build nests right by our windows. And here's a little way to do this easily. This reminds me of all of the stuff that those little mama birds find to build their nests. They're just so, of course, they do it right by our front door. And then I feel guilty because they've put all this little work in. We try to catch them before they have, but they get so much stuff. And this looks like they're out there just nesting away and just gathering. So just add that in there. Just one more little kind of fun little addition. So when we did our event, we were calling it the Stampin' Up Museum, and we pulled out some of the cards that we had made way back when in the 90s. And you know what we stuck on our cards in 1995 and 1996? Raffia. If that isn't something that the mama bird can stick on, I think every card that I pulled out had raffia. Lots of raffia, all over raffia. So there you go. So this is, if you're in Card Club, this is your bonus set. So you can add it, you can get the folder. And if you buy it this month, then you'll get the 2 bonus projects. Everybody will get the videos if you're in Card Club, and then this is your actual Card Club set. So watch this video if you're interested. Everything has to be done by the 10th of the month, but because these dies are on sale, I will be placing an order for those of you that have added them on the 4th, and then I'll do it again on the 6th, and then I'll do it on the 8th, and then I'll do it on the 10th. And if they run out on any of the days before them, then there's nothing I can do about it. So everybody have a great day, and come back sometime in the next day or 2, and I will have the walkthrough of the annual catalog. I'm not looking forward to filming it because it's a little overwhelming. So just sometimes I try to find a certain card that I know that I've made. Oh, and go to my Facebook page over the next few days. Well, probably over the course of the month, I will be posting videos of cards that I have made and projects that I've made. Some of the information will be old and dated because I will talk about it being brand new or a sneak peek, and it's actually on its way out. But the cards will be, and the techniques for the cards of stuff that's retiring. Everybody have a great day. Have a good weekend. Bye.